Akamanto. Public restrooms can be weird at the best of times, but Akamanto elevates that discomfort to sheer terror. This spirit targets individuals occupying the last stall in a bathroom. Just when you're at your most vulnerable, a chilling, disembodied voice echoes from nowhere. Do you want red paper or blue paper? There is no right answer. It's a deadly trap disguised as a choice. Choose red paper, and the Akamanto will violently attack, slicing and stabbing you until your clothes are drenched in blood, making you the red paper. Choose blue paper, and the spirit will strangle you or drain you of all your blood, leaving your face and body deathly pale blue. Thinking you can outsmart it? Trying to ask for a different color, like yellow? That usually results in being forcefully dragged down into the toilet, straight to the underworld or some other unspeakable hell dimension. Saying no paper or staying silent might buy you a few seconds, but often ends just as fatally. Maybe holding it until you get home is the safer option. Gashadokuro. Imagine starvation so agonizing that the lingering bitterness and rage of its victims refuses to pass on. Now imagine those tormented spirits coalescing, gathering the physical remains of the unburied dead. That is the terrifying origin of the Gashadokuro, the starving skeleton. This isn't just any skeleton. It's a gigantic composite entity said to be 15 times the height of an average person. It wanders the darkest hours after midnight, an enormous silhouette against the moonlit sky. Legends claim it possesses the power of invisibility, only revealing itself at the last moment. Driven by the insatiable hunger and malice of its constituent souls, the Gashadokuro preys on lone travelers. If it spots you, escape is nearly impossible. It will snatch you up in its massive bony hands and either bite your head clean off or crush you mercilessly into nothing more than paste. Ningen. Reports primarily surfaced from Japanese government whale research ships navigating the frigid, desolate waters of the Antarctic Ocean. Crews described encountering massive, vaguely humanoid entities lurking beneath the waves or occasionally surfacing. These creatures are said to be colossal, estimated between 20 to 30 meters in length, with incredibly smooth, pale white skin, resembling blubber. Their form is disturbingly anthropomorphic, sometimes described with recognizable arms, legs, and even hands possessing 5 fingers, yet lacking distinct facial features beyond perhaps eyes and a mouth slit. Sightings are often fleeting, occurring at night or in poor visibility. Explanations range from misidentified known marine life like albino whales or giant rays, to optical illusions caused by ice and water, with some even dismissing it as a hoax. Yet the persistence of reports and the unnerving descriptions, a giant, pale, faceless humanoid gliding through the abyssal dark, taps into the fear of the unknown lurking in Earth's unexplored depths. Kuchisake Onna. You're walking down a quiet street as dusk settles, maybe cutting through a lonely park. A figure emerges from the darkness, a woman with long, dark hair wearing a trench coat, her lower face obscured by a surgical mask. She blocks your path, seemingly polite, and poses a question that hangs heavy in the air. Am I pretty? Your answer seals your fate in a terrifying catch-22. Say yes, trying to appease her, and she'll slowly lower the mask, revealing a horrifying wound, her mouth sliced violently from ear to ear in a grotesque, permanent smile. How about now? She'll hiss, before brandishing a pair of rusty scissors or a gleaming knife, intent on carving the same horrific smile onto your own face. What if you say no or scream? Instant death. She'll cut you down right there. Trying to flee is equally futile. Legends claim she possesses unnatural speed, able to reappear right in front of you no matter how fast you run. Some tales say she was the victim of a jealous samurai husband, while others say it's a modern urban legend born from fear of medical mishaps. Regardless of her origin, the encounter is pure psychological torture ending in brutal violence. Yuki Onna. Tales predominantly emerge from the snow-swept mountain passes and isolated villages of Japan, passed down through generations of folklore. Witnesses, usually travelers caught in blizzards, speak of encounters with an unnervingly beautiful woman amidst the blinding whiteout. She is described as impossibly tall, with long black hair stark against skin so pale it appears translucent, almost blending with the snow itself, typically wearing a white kimono. Her presence brings an unnatural, piercing cold. Sometimes she seems lost, seeking shelter. Other times she floats silently over the drifts, leaving no footprints, her gaze fixed upon the unfortunate soul who meets her eyes. More terrifying accounts describe her using icy breath to freeze victims solid, or leading them astray to perish in the storm. Skeptics might suggest hypothermia-induced hallucinations, yet the consistency of the descriptions persists across numerous regional legends. Jorogumo. Beware of beauty encountered in unexpected places, it might hide something monstrous. The Jorogumo, translating roughly to woman spider, begins its life as a common orb weaver spider. But according to legend, when these spiders live for 400 years, they gain immense magical power, including the ability to shapeshift into an alluringly beautiful woman. She often appears near waterfalls, in secluded forests, or abandoned huts, sometimes playing a lute to lure unsuspecting men, usually young samurai, monks, or travelers. Her methods are insidious. She might ask for help, feign distress, or even appear cradling what looks like a baby, asking her victim to hold it, only for them to discover it's actually a horrifying bundle of thousands of spider eggs. Once her prey is captivated by her beauty, distracted by her music, or caught in her deceptive web of lies, she reveals her true nature. The beautiful woman transforms, perhaps partially or fully, into a colossal, terrifying spider. She then binds her helpless victim in strong, sticky silk threads, paralyzing them. Unlike creatures that kill quickly, the Jorogumo often saves her ensnared meals for later, slowly draining their life force or simply devouring them at her leisure. Futakuchi Onna. From the outside, she might seem like any other woman, but hidden beneath her hair, typically on the back of her skull, lies a horrible secret: a second, fully functional mouth. This hidden maw possesses its own lips, teeth, and tongue, whispering curses, demanding food, and radiating a monstrous hunger. Legend tells of miserly husbands who starved their wives, only for this second mouth to appear as a curse, forcing the woman to consume twice as much. The woman's hair often animates like tentacles or snakes, grabbing nearby food and shoving it directly into the hungry orifice on her head, even while she sleeps. Kappa. Often depicted in cartoons or as quirky statues, these creatures might seem comical at first glance. But don't let the goofy appearance fool you. Kappas possess a strength far exceeding their size and an insidious cruelty. They are notorious for dragging swimmers, especially children, beneath the surface to drown them. Farmers fear them for attacking livestock near the water's edge. And then there's the truly bizarre part. Some legends insist kappas have a particular craving for a small ball located inside the human anus, which they extract forcefully. Yes, you heard that right. Their only known weakness is their rigid sense of Japanese etiquette. If you encounter one, a deep bow might save you. Compelled to return the gesture, the kappa will spill the water from its head, rendering it powerless or even immobile until refilled. They also have a documented love for cucumbers, sometimes used as offerings to appease them. But banking on politeness or having a cucumber handy when some monster is trying to drown you and steal your butt organ? Not the best odds. Rokurokubi. Your neighbor seems normal, right? Wait until nightfall. The Rokurokubi seem perfectly ordinary during daylight hours. They live normal lives. But when night falls and they drift off to sleep, a disturbing transformation occurs. In the most common type, their necks elongate, stretching to incredible unnatural lengths like grotesque serpents. The head, still attached, can then roam freely, peering into windows, spying on neighbors, whispering threats, or sometimes just causing general mischief. Imagine the sheer horror of waking to see a detached-looking head leering at you from the ceiling. A more terrifying variant is the Nukukubi, where the entire head detaches from the body and flies around independently, often becoming more aggressive, sometimes attacking humans or animals, even drinking blood. Legends offer various origins: a curse, bad karma from a past life, or simply an inherited trait. Regardless, the Rokurokubi taps into fears about the hidden nature of people and the corruption of the human body. Teke Teke. Listen closely in the middle of the night, especially near train tracks or lonely school buildings. Do you hear it? A rhythmic, scraping sound. Teke Teke Teke. That is the horrifying soundtrack to your impending doom. Teke Teke is the vengeful spirit of a young woman, usually a schoolgirl, who met a gruesome end involving a train, severing her body in half at the waist. Now she exists only as an upper torso, propelled through the darkness by her hands or elbows, dragging her mangled lower half behind her. Despite this horrific handicap, she moves with terrifying speed, easily outpacing a fleeing victim. Legends often say she carries a scythe or uses razor-sharp claws, hunting for those unfortunate enough to cross her path after dark. Spotting her, or even just hearing that distinct dragging sound, means you're marked. She relentlessly pursues her prey, driven by rage and agony, seeking to inflict her own horrific fate onto others. I think these monsters would make anyone cancel a trip to Japan. Which one do you think is the scariest, and which ones are real? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.